That was super fast. Man, I'm gonna have to give y'all time to get into the room here. That's so fast. It's not even funny. Wow, a lot of stuff going on with that cell phone mess with that company that is a Chinese state-run uh, a puppet of the Chinese government. So we got some stuff. Oh, I got one in the room. I got a like. How'd I get a like? I just got here. I ain't even done nothing yet. Oh, I bet you like that it's actually live. The other one, we'll talk about that later. But hey, I'm learning how things work too. You know, we got some issues, man. Look, if you have a ZTE phone, it's my understanding that those will be the same way. But Google, okay, owns, and I'm sure, yeah, hey, Truckinstuff, what's up? So I'm sure that Google, like, this is the ZTE phone that I've got. This is a prop. Okay, you could also call it. I mean, it's a phone that could be used, but you could also call this a good door stopper, maybe a paperweight. So all you execs, if you want to take the battery out of it, maybe gut it and use these as a paperweight or something to hold your door open. You know, that's a good sign that you're like supporting America. Use these as a door stop. I don't know. I might run mine over with my truck because give a good FU to China for trying to put any kind of spying software in with our systems. It's real, people. It's real enough that they're upset, saying that the U.S. Was spying on Huawei, and they're saying that we got into their email systems and hacked their servers. Well, probably because we showed them where they were trying to infiltrate the United States, and they figured that's the only place it could have come from. So what are they trying to say? Are they mad that we caught them and hacked their servers, or are they mad at themselves for getting caught? So either way, whatever. All right, so right now, if you have a phone, whether or not it's this ZTE based one, okay, out of China or what, or whether you have a Huawei phone, if you have, it runs off an Android system. Google has the right to deny you access to all Google services. That's exactly what just happened to Huawei. They lost the right to be able to get on any type of they can't use Google Play. They can't use, as far as I know, you won't be able to use your GPS if you're using Google Maps. So keep that in mind if you have one of those phones. That's why I'm telling truckers it affects truckers too. Your cell phone won't work. Maybe if you have Gmail, let's say your company sent you an email. Oh, well, we sent you the email. Well, guess what? Your device no longer supports Gmail because it's Google Mail. Gmail. Catch up, people. You're all on Google, okay, whether you know it or not. Everything that you had to have on Google. So if you have an Apple phone, you're good. If you have a different type of operating system that is a Droid phone, you're okay. But if you have one of those phones that is run off Huawei systems, you're banned worldwide now for a lot of stuff. They got you on Google. Well, I'm pretty sure YouTube also. I mean, there's all kinds of different Google things that's just not going to work at all, and they will let you use the standard Android system for phones, but it's a basic public source kind of system, so you lose all the frills and all the thing of having a smartphone. Really, you got a phone. You now have a brick. You got a brick. You can throw it at somebody. It might hurt them. Throw it at somebody that's got something to do with Huawei. Tell them you don't want it no more. No, here's the thing. They are the largest seller of those network routers and that kind of stuff, and they were trying to get the corner on the market on our 5G. Having said that, and watch my last video, it was a lot more informative on a lot of stuff, but it's a state-started, state-propped-up company that is run by the CEO guy. He was in communications in the People's Liberation Army of China. So if you want to know what that kind of stuff, I mean, they've got, look, let's not even talk about the camps where they got people still being held. Let's not talk about, man, you could look at, I think there's a little place called Tiananmen Square with some tanks in it. Yeah, might want to look that up. Google that. If you can Google, if you still have a device that works, So anyway, you may find if you have that phone that it'll still work as a phone, but it won't work. But on a basic Android system, you won't have anything Google. So that's Google Plus, Google Gmail. I'm pretty sure that since they own YouTube, definitely, like I said, let's see, the Gmail, Google Maps, anything Google. And you won't be getting any updates from Android either. So what they've done is they found out that they were spying and trying to spy on the American public and send stuff back to China. And there was an Amazon router that got a chip put in it somewhere between the point where they bought it and by the time it was delivered to them, someone had taken out one chip, put another chip under it, and put that on top of it, and it was a spy chip. And it sent everything on their server back to China. So it's like a hacking within a hacking. It's like before, they just unboxed it and plugged it up. They don't check that stuff. Who's going to check that stuff? You'd have to count all the numbers. I ain't even going to get into that. I can put links up to some people that talked about that. Some people tried to debunk it. It was done. They found out because their router was sending information. They said, who's it connected to? It was connected to China. Why? Right? So your phones could be sending, and probably were sending back, all kinds of intel to China. What they want our access to our military intelligence and also proprietary knowledge to our companies. They steal knowledge from our companies and they back engineer it, even to the point where, like I said yesterday, they took a device from a company and basically they copied it to the T, so much so that let me turn this truck off so I don't feel like I'm yelling over it. They even copied the typos in the manual. So they messed up in the exact same way that the company messed up because they copied it so thoroughly. And then they branded it with their name. That's what they do in China. And their economy's strong, but they rely, it's kind of like checkers versus Monopoly. Communist countries want to think that within their own country, they can make everything they need and buy everything they need. But then when they see that their people want things that are produced globally, and sometimes they have food they need to order and that kind of stuff, they have to use American dollars. So that's the problem. They're low on American dollars anyways. Huawei was a company that was making money and it was making American dollars. It's all a big mess for them. And they need to get straight on their trade with us. And they need to stop putting out companies that spy. So it's not too big to fail. Yeah, they had a lot of contracts with parts and pieces that were made in the United States, but that's just going to have to stop. It's my understanding that I think it was Germany that cut off an entire shipment of chips. It's all about the chips. They can't get chips. They have a year supply of chips right now. So Horsefly put, yeah. So they have a year supply of chips is all they have. And they have parts and pieces that come from different places. But for them to claim that we must trade with them because it affects jobs in America is kind of horse hockey. You know what I'm saying? It's not true. We don't need that, and they don't even have networks they can run off of. In other countries, they're going to have to be trying to take care of some islands somewhere. They tried to infiltrate us by getting into some private networks that one was in, but it's hooked to the internet. One was a company in Kansas. One was in New York, I think it was, or somewhere in the Northeast. There's a few of them. So let's see. Somebody said, yeah. So I got your Horsefly. So Horsefly, I got to give you a wrench at some point. Maybe I can do that from here. We'll see what I can do. Who knows, right? Let's see what we got. Let's see. Nope, it won't let me do it right here from this. That's all right. Anyways, yeah, no worries. I'll get it to you. I got to do it off a laptop. But back to what I was saying is, this is what's going on in China right now. China has changed their state run. Again, everything is state run in China. Huawei is state run, everything they have, and there's no competition for Huawei in China, and it's against the law to try to start a any kind of a telecommunications company in China because Huawei's got the deal. So it is run by the government. And he was in the People's Liberation Army, and he's still a member of the Communist Party. They admitted that. I got a video on that too. So they are by law obligated to, if China says spy on a country, they spy on a country. Every country out there has been spied on that they've been in. That's Australia, that's Poland, all kinds of countries. And every time they can, they steal proprietary knowledge. They stole this guy's, like I said on the last video, they stole this guy's glass that was made with diamonds, synthetic diamond instead of silicon, and it was supposed to be better than rhino glass. They cut a piece of it with a laser, stole it, tried to back engineer it, and did, I believe. And then they're trying to steal his product. And he asked them for help. He said, hey, it's a big company. Maybe they can help me get started. And they stole his stuff. And he had to get in touch with the FBI and all this stuff. They did a whole investigation they're still working on. And they've settled out of court with several companies that they've stolen stuff from. So it's just their game plan. It's what they do. And even Huawei Huawei built a fake city over there in China, and Vice News went over there and checked it out. And it's a bunch of copies of European cities, famous European cities copied. That's what they do. They copy everything. So that's just in their game plan. So of course they're going to steal our proprietary knowledge, our companies' trademark stuff, and make it and sell it in other places. They're like the bootleg country of the world. And so that's how they get their technology, is by stealing it. And now they're trying to also steal our data and information because they want to get, I'm going to tell you what they want to get to. And like I said, it puts me to where people like, really, it's true though. Russia's trying to get to the point where they have the quickest delivery system to hit us with something. It's called First Strike. China, I think, is trying to go after the football. I think they want to intercept the football. I think that they want to be able to stop our communications by running our communications, putting in backdoor servers. Backdoor. The ability to hit a keystroke and shut down the entire system. And they've got patience and time. They're not the kind of country that says we want return on our things right now. They are very patient. That's how they looked at what happened with Hong Kong. They looked at where Europe used drugs to get them all messed up so that they wound up losing a war, and they lost Hong Kong, and then it went back to China, of course. They looked at their past mistakes and they've learned from it. And what they're doing now, I think, is trying to infiltrate all of our telecommunications to find out, because it's not just on regular military communications that people have communications. So if they could get a cell phone into our army, that's what they would like. That's what they tried to do. And so now, if you're a government employee, you're not allowed to have and use a Huawei or that kind of software phone. And they're mad that it was disallowed. Well, it's disallowed as a matter of well, not just national security, but I would say it's a matter of principle. There's no sense in giving anyone the ability to shut off your communique. That makes no sense. So anyways, here's what they're doing in China right now. Their state-sponsored television programming has went back to 1950s movies. There's 3 of them. They're running on heavy rotation right now. It's to basically brainwash the mind of their public to make America the enemy. Before what? I don't know. But that's what they're doing. And it's kind of a tactic. You demonize your enemy and then you go after them. Well, here's what they say. These are 1950s era movies that they're playing right now. And they claim now also, and it's heavy rotation. That's what you get on their television if you watch their television. So, they're claiming even through the Communist Party's Global Times newspaper, okay? It's their own state-run, again, newspaper. They're saying this. They said that the China-U.S. trade war reminds us of the Korean War, where our persistence in the battlefield and continuous victories, right, finally forced the Americans to bow down at the negotiating table. If that's not propaganda, I don't know what is. That's the thickest load of crap I've ever heard, but that's what they're spouting, to make their people like that, and the movie and everything else they're doing, those movies, they're trying to demonize America, period. All because we don't want them to use their Huawei company, which I told about, what that translates to. I can give you that again. See, there's a translation to the word Huawei. It actually means something. But Google pulled out. So, by the way, you're only using now, if you have those phones, the public open source version. So you're going to lose, of course, the YouTube, Gmail, Google Play, Google Maps. And they're also not anymore going to be supported by, these are some major ones too, before I get into that, Qualcomm, Broadcom, Xilinx, and a German chip maker, Infineon, is the one that canceled the orders of all the cards. Infineon Tech actually dropped to 1704 yesterday. Their stocks went from January of almost 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, to now, from being at $26 a share, they dropped down to 1704 as of yesterday. That's a drop of 29%, but they'll come back because they can make chips for anybody. Ericsson is what we need to support Ericsson, because Ericsson is the one that can make routers and microcells that can support our 5G network we're trying to create, rather than deal with Huawei. I don't care how long it takes, just make it American and make it something that nobody's going to spy on us as a nation. Not personally, but our government and our army. We can't have people going in there trying to circumvent our telecom or communicate with military and be able to shut something down, especially if we're connecting things to satellite and stuff like that. So, but the name of it actually means something. So back to that, Huawei translates to achievements of China is what they want to say, but there's other translations of that word, or accomplishment of China. The other way to translate it is splendid act, or China is able. So wouldn't it be a splendid act to make someone pay you? See, the United States pays for their services of if they had the 5G network and they were doing everything, we'd be paying them to spy on us, steal our proprietary knowledge, infiltrate our country, possibly even in a wartime situation, be able to cut off all of our telecommunications. Where in a war, you couldn't call home, you couldn't call anybody. You see what I'm saying? And the military couldn't communicate if they're hooked up on them, or if they're using their cell phones as a backup. They want to take out our satellites, and they want to take over our communique. That is their modus operandi. And I don't care what anybody says, that's what they're doing. The proof's in the pudding. They've put satellites up that grab ours. I did a video on that. I'll put a link to that video. The point is this. Wouldn't it be a splendid act if they could make us pay for our own demise? Somebody riddle me that one. I would say it'd be pretty splendid. I'd have to give them credit. You got to give them props for that. They're smart enough to know that. So, as of right now, all countries are blacklisting and not dealing with to send them parts, to use them on their network anyhow. But for the people, they were given some kind of a 90-day thing just to even do business in the United States. I don't know what that covers, but it's still going to be just on the basic public Android system, and Google has completely shut them out. You won't do anything Google from a Huawei phone. I can promise you that. As of yesterday, from what I heard, possibly the day before, but yesterday it was reported. So, anybody got any questions, man, you can go ahead and talk. I wanted to put that out there, and yesterday's live was my bad. It went live, and then I inadvertently had it on private, so didn't mean to do that, but you can watch it as a video. I knew it was going to go up as a video, and I knew that once it started doing what it was going to do. Let's see. Let me try to find something real quick on tunes, and then that's BPM. That's Diplo. I like chill. So I'm gonna have some coffee with you people, and if anybody wants to say anything, you go ahead and say it. And I appreciate 3 likes. That's awesome. Trust me, there'll be about 1 million more, because this one for real is giving intel. Listen, if you have that type of phone and you got it because it was cheaper than the other ones, that's smart to have done. However, now you may not be able to get into your Gmail, and everybody runs everything off Gmail. Now, your Gmail will still work for you if you go onto a laptop computer or a different device. So take yourself to the Sprint or Verizon or AT&T or T-Mobile or Cricket Wireless or whatever carrier you want to deal with that you're already with, or if you want to change carriers at this point. But I would say stay with your same carrier. Get you a different phone that will still work anything Google, like the Google Maps, okay, which is your navigation, Gmail, YouTube, and Google Play Store. That's another thing too. That guess what? You know what I'm saying? Play Store. It's my understanding that, and you can't get any updates at all. So if there's any kind of a hack of that system, and I would expect that next, because they're no longer updating it and people are just into that kind of thing. They're like, hey, we ain't gonna update it. Let's go ahead and try to see what we can't do. Yeah, it might hack the phone itself and make it so the phone, who knows what's next? Who knows what's next, people? But right now, China is not just trying to have a trade war. They're trying to propagandize and demonize the United States, period. They're brainwashing their people against us, full on, with those 3 movies they're playing on heavy rotation that are anti-American sentiment, making it look like the North Korean War was a win for them, and they made us bow down. Here's the thing. That's why none of our leaders, when they take a picture with China, will bow their head any. You keep your head level when you look at those people when you're having a picture taken, or even if you don't think you're having your picture taken, because they will take that picture. They will say, see, these people bow to us. That's why it was a bad thing to even bow to even the Saudi leaders, that kind of stuff. It's because you don't do that if you are representing the United States. You don't bow to other countries, because that represents the United States bowing to other countries. It's a faux pas. It's a diplomatic mistake. It's something you don't do. So, if you're ever in a position of government and you decide to go to another country, look them in the eye, keep your head level and looking up. If it's, like in Japan, it's you're supposed to bow to each other. Well, keep your head up, keep your eyes up, so it's not taken as the United States bowing to them. But that's what I'm sure they have a picture of back when there was signed, making it look like someone was bowing to someone. And that's why they're saying that they owe their great accomplishments they called it that they kept winning in the battlefield and it overwhelmed us. That's the way they want to say it. So kind of crazy, but the daughter of the guy in Huawei is still in trouble for the fraud and dealing with Iran, and also I guess it was it, let's see, I don't know if they got her for the stealing of intellectual property, but she was the chief financial officer, the CFO, and they arrested her in Canada, and she's fighting extradition to the United States by way of saying that Canada's law says they have to have a similar law before they'll extradite you. So she wants to be tried in Canada. I don't think she wants to be questioned on what's going on, but I think they pretty well know what they've been doing, because evidently if they say we hacked their servers and emails, somehow those emails got out. Probably an inside person sent them out, and we found out and have proof that they think could only have come from their emails and servers, that they were stealing proprietary knowledge, and that their goal was to possibly infiltrate our communication systems. There's probably somebody laughing at us, saying, you believe these Americans, they're paying for our 5G network that we're going to create for them, and then we're going to take all the information and we can take them over. So now that's just conjecture. This is all my opinion. None of this is based on fact. You can check it out on the internet, and there you go. There, I legaled that up, right, people? Have some coffee with me and know what's going on. It's the real deal. So yeah, other than that, get you another phone if you have a Huawei. It's a good time to upgrade. They'll probably offer free upgrades at this point. I'll bet you money, because Google is in with the phone carriers and stuff. I would bet money that they will help you to get you a phone that still works on all those things. So you had a smartphone and then it went stupid because places are cutting it off, and they have a year supply of chips, but they're going to go through that so fast. It's going to be, they're going to have to sell to some island, some, not Truckinstuff Island. They're not allowed. If you're on Truckinstuff Island, we're not allowing Huawei to put the network in. Just so you know, kid's going to take care of that. It's going to have to be it's got to be, it could be a Droid, but it can't be that type of software. And I'll run 2G if I have to. There you go, or just wires. But they're trying to infiltrate. That is their job, to continually do that. And their method of warfare is first take control of the towns, the small villages, and then you infiltrate the city after it's surrounded. So that's what they're doing. They want to first take over communications network for telephones, and then they will move on to, I would say, military, satellite, and all that kind of stuff. They just want to intercept the ball. That's it. You don't have to run it all the way, down the field. You intercept the ball. It's bad. The football I'm talking about. So it's the real deal. We do not want to let them intercept the football. So show your support for our country. Buy a phone that's government approved. And they've been shut out of a lot of stuff now. And they won't be on our 5G network. It'll never happen. There's no way. And there's no coming back from this. So hopefully another country will, we're getting some help from some outside. I think it's Linux system. I have to look at the system that I said was out of another country. There's a French company that actually has probably the ability to even beat Ericsson to rebuilding or making, whatever you want to call it, making a 5G network. Cisco is here. They can't quite do it. Ericsson is probably Ericsson or Alcatel, Lucent, French company. They could do it, but yeah, it was sanctions fraud, and also they got busted for espionage in Poland. Germany's the one that shut down all the damn shipments of those chips. They had shipments that were fixing to be sent over there. They said nope, and they stopped them. So I don't know if they stopped them at a port. I don't know if they stopped them on a ship and recalled them, or if they stopped them at their factory, but they're not getting those chips. But along with, you can add this up to their wonderful stuff they send us, like lead paint in children's toys, radioactive dishware. I think that was from there. I'm not sure. I have to look. Coatings on Christmas tree lights. Anything that says might cause cancer in California probably came from there. And they once dumped a ship of nasty hazardous waste into the ocean off the coast of California too. A container. I don't know why they did that. Nobody knows why they did that. They were supposed to haul it to actually destroy it, and they just dumped it. So it's what they do. They don't care about the environment. Their people have to wear masks with little Hello Kitty and cartoon characters on them and stuffed animals, because just so they can breathe. It's a fashion statement. And they destroy their water, so their cities are covered with smog. They had to, for the Olympics, like I said, they had to shut down a week ahead of time just to get the skies clear enough for people to compete. And then they were back to it. But the guy that they stole the diamond glass, I'll try to put that link onto this one also, because I did talk about it. And anybody wants to say anything, y'all go ahead. You're being the strong silent type. Hope this was helpful, knowledgeable about what's going on. And so don't think something's wrong with your phone if you have that phone and you're like, man, I can't get on YouTube, or man, my Gmail, or somebody says they sent you a Gmail and you didn't get an alert for it. It's because your phone is no longer allowed. Google pulled Android's license from Huawei. That's what happened. That's the best legal way to describe it. So I'm about to get off this thing. Let's see if I missed anything. Did I miss any comments here? I probably did. I'm sitting here. Oh, last thing was no worries from Horsefly. Horsefly, we got no worries. I hope you're doing good, Horsefly. I'm going to throw a wrench at you later, or give you a wrench, either way you want to look at it. And I don't throw wrenches. I don't even get mad enough. I like my wrenches not to be scratched up. So keep it nice and keep flying. People, it's going to be a good day. We're on top of stuff before it happened. Thank God we didn't just give them the keys to a complete 5G network. And because it's like super fast speed too for them to send everything back to China. But they're patient. I think they have like a 100-year plan and a 1,000-year plan to take over everything they can. Um, but they need U.S. dollars because they're playing checkers. So they have to buy food for the people. They have to buy materials. Um, their technology consists of stealing other people's stuff. So they kind of need to buy stuff. And yeah, it's kind of crazy that I mean, I don't know why they didn't see it a long time ago that the creator of the company just did retire after years and years of service in communications for his military in China to start a communications company that wanted to do business in the US. So they have their own people there. They got their own little stuff. Let them sell cell phones in their own country and then keep playing checkers. Um, you know, so, but someone knows something, and there's a real good reason that they shut them down. And I'm glad for it. At least they're on the ball. Y'all stay safe. I'm going to get off this thing. I got to ride, people. Appreciate you stopping by. Get you some coffee, get you a cigar. Didn't even mention that. I got another one of these going, a Java. And so I will be working. I might do another live later if anything else breaks on this. But nothing's wrong with your account or your phone per se. It's just they're not allowed on those networks. So stay safe. Oh, okay. Later, stay safe. Yep, you too. I'm going to get down the road. I'm out of here. Peace.